Viva, 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 viva. Ai, que delícia. Cheguemos! Chegando no Histórias com Osho.
Tô com o celular aberto aqui, começou a
Eu
repetir.
ouvi só o cheguemos. A gente acha que não tá ao vivo e tá, né? Pá!
Isso.
Eva, gente, que bom. Buenas
E
noches.
boa noite. A gente vai esperando as pessoas entrarem.
Eu vou baixar aqui o meu também antes
Nosso
que.
canal pirata às vezes é difícil de achar, a gente se esconde bem, né?
É.
A gente se esconde bem, aí o povo demora a nos achar. Facebook também não ajuda,
Sem querer falar, mas já falando,
mas já
né?
tô vendo que alguém já está aqui com a gente, nossa
É
fada
verdade.
madrinha. Kilma,
Ai,
bem-vinda.
querida, querida. Beijos, beijos. Ai, Taida!
Ó, a
Ai, que
Taida, boa noite, Taida, boa
gostosa.
noite, Aditi.
A Dite, linda. Ai, que gostoso, né? Muito bom, muito bom. Estamos aqui com mais belezas do mundo Osho. Histórias reais, histórias de vida e só inspiram essa presença desse mestre nesse planeta. Demais, demais.
A gente
Vamos lá,
estava,
vou compartilhar aqui. A nossa
tá,
página Osho Sem Fronteiras está fora do ar, ela constantemente fica, né? Tentam barrá-la, mas já já ela volta. Em todo caso, Nelsânias, a nova realidade, ainda está viva. Então vamos lá, gente. Vou compartilhar já.
é o mundo da tecnologia, de direitos autorais.
Ah, tá tudo em
Né?
pauta agora,
Hoje eu
né?
vi uma pessoa usando uma camiseta escrita Osho is a birthright, not a copyright. Ou seja,
I agree.
Osho é um direito de nascença e não uma marca registrada.
É.
Cá estamos nós com a nossa Rádio Pirata. Estava vendo, a gente está completando no mês que vem 5 anos,
É, gente, olha
né?
isso.
5 anos de HCO.
Mas, é.
Me deparei com o primeiro cartazinho que quem fez foi a Divyamina.
É.
Realmente não tinha a mínima ideia que ia virar isso, né? Esse trem que não para mais, a gente não
Esse
consegue nem
trem.
pensar em desligar ele,
Quer
porque tem um
ver?
monte
Ele,
de
ele
gente
tá
querendo
aqui na
embarcar.
agência. Deixa eu
Oi?
ver se eu mostro para vocês ele aqui. Olha só que coisa bonitinha, gente.
Primeiro
É,
episódio.
essa semana
Divulgação.
recebo Antarabiro ou Ricardo Barcelos.
Agora você me entregou, eu tô aqui todo disfarçado de touca,
Poxa,
para ninguém me reconhecer.
mas eu não falei ruim, Ricardo. Aquelas bem.
Tenho, estávamos falando sobre um vídeo que eu vi da Manisha James, né, autora de 3 livros que eu conheço sobre o Osho, que aliás eu apoio meu computador aqui para fazer. Um deles é sobre a tour do Osho no mundo, e ele está em Portugal, né? E eles procurando escondê-lo, porque tinha muito problema onde ele ia, atrás vinha gente persegui-lo, né? Querendo expulsar ele do país.
É,
E em Portugal não foi diferente. Tem um episódio que ele vai sair, eles tentam sair com ele do hotel de noite, eu não sei para onde vão, não lembro. E colocaram um sobretudo no rosto, tudo, queriam que ele usasse um chapéu. Não, eu não lembro o que que era. Eu acho que isso, o Osho botou um sobretudo e disse: "Não, ninguém vai me reconhecer com esse sobretudo."
imagina, né? Ai, bonitinho, lindo.
E eu tento passar despercebido aqui, né, com a minha toquinha, né? Ninguém me reconhece também?
Não, ninguém vai te reconhecer.
Não.
Imagina. Tá bom. Vamos lá.
Vamos aos nossos
Falta
agradecimentos de praxe, já que estamos
um,
começando a nossa 10ª temporada. Eu acho que hoje é o episódio número 191 ou 190, não lembro mais, não olhei hoje.
190, ó. Número
É.
da paliça. Uh!
Eu queria fazer agradecimentos à nossa equipe, dessa vez sem ter nenhum texto pronto aqui para lembrar, porque esse episódio de hoje, ele tem uma beleza, porque é com um artista e tal, mas a edição ficou muito bonita, tem algumas surpresas, e eu agradeço muito a Parita por ter feito esse trabalho lindo com a edição, com também os teasers de divulgação também ficam maravilhosos, e ao Miguel também, que junto com a Mina criaram uma obra de arte nessa vinheta, né, na arte de divulgação, que é aquela o
Vocês
teaser, né? Foi uma
gostaram, gente?
combinação de ideias, né? O
É,
Miguel pegou e juntou essas duas ideias, se tornou aquela coisa oriental japonesa linda, né? E ao
lindo,
mesmo
com Osho.
tempo com o Osho no background, né? O olho do Osho lá atrás, tá maravilhoso.
Esse Osho aqui, essa foto.
Então, muito grato à nossa equipe HCO, também agradecemos a Catarina e a Priscila, uma
Sim.
com as legendas e a Priscila com as edições complementares, o Miguel também, né? Às vezes bota a mão na massa. Então, nós temos uma equipe muito competente, graças a essa equipe, que a gente sempre fala, eu e a Mina, se a gente não atrapalhar, já tá bom, né? Mas graças a essa equipe maravilhosa, a gente consegue estar aqui até hoje. Então, nosso muito obrigado, equipe HCO,
Sim.
por estarmos nessa 10ª temporada. Muito devemos à nossa preciosa equipe. Agradecemos as páginas Osho Sem Fronteiras, que hoje não está conosco,
É.
porque parece que alguém puxou o tapete deles para variar, daqui a pouco eles estão de volta. Nelsânias da Nova Realidade, Francisco Siqueira e equipe está nos transmitindo hoje também. O
Ah,
que
é, os
mais?
nossos queridos colaboradores Pix, que depositam, apoiam e acreditam nesse trabalho, de certa forma, empurram a gente para trazer mais material, mais gravação. Isso tudo demanda grana, se a gente sabe disso, né? Tudo custa. E a ajuda de vocês nos faz, né, acreditar mais e continuar produzindo mais coisa para compartilhar aqui, tá?
É,
Então, muito, muito, muito obrigada de coração. A
é,
todos, é R$ 10, R$ 100, R$ 1.000, R$ 100.000. Não, tô brincando.
a gente fica muito
Mas
grato, né?
isso é
A
muito.
gente, a gente fica muito grato porque nós temos uma particularidade, a gente não monetiza. Pode ver que a gente não pede like, essas coisas que todos pedem, porque
Mas pode dar o like?
pode
Aquelas
dar, mas
coisas,
não
né?
é
Mas
essa a questão, né? A
é,
gente não tem a alma vendida, a gente faz exatamente aquilo que a gente quer, né?
é,
E não faz por dinheiro. Então, isso nos dá
sim,
uma ampla liberdade, a gente não fica comendo na mão de ninguém. A gente não depende de audiência, a gente não depende de nada, só da qualidade daquilo que a gente faz e tenta fazer cada vez melhor e que nos
é,
empolga. A gente faz o HCO, é fruto da nossa paixão por esse tema, né? Inspirado no nosso querido Osho,
é,
né? Que nos conduziu por tantos, tem nos conduzido por tantos caminhos, né? Para encontrar tanta gente linda. A coisa que eu vejo, uma das coisas que mais me dá prazer no Histórias com o Osho é a conexão que se faz, que hoje a gente está em contato com tanto de gente,
é.
né? Com tanto de
Tanto de
gente.
história, e aí um tanto de história. Se somar esses anos de história, quanto que dá, né? Vamos fazer essa conta. Mais ou menos. Uma média de 40 anos cada um, então, putz, meu Deus, né?
É,
Tem uma
recado
eternidade aí.
importante. Recado importante. Não somos um canal oficial do Osho, tá? Não temos nenhum vínculo com a Fundação Osho Internacional. Então, tem site próprio, nome Osho, pode buscar na internet. Nós somos mais para amigos contadores de história, que chamam outros amigos para contar sua história que nos interessa muito, né? Porque é o Osho que está dentro de cada um, né? Como foi impactado a vida de cada pessoa que vai estar com a gente, que está com a gente aqui dando seu depoimento, porque desde o início a gente tem a sensação que alguém como o Osho não passa impune, né? E mesmo depois já de 90, 2000, 10, 20, 30 anos, né? 35 anos, estamos aqui, né? E ainda tanta coisa para descobrir.
É,
Vamos lá. Outra coisa, antes que eu esqueça, a gente faz uma transmissão aqui de uma gravação que está com boa qualidade, com a legenda com boa qualidade. Acontece que na hora da transmissão, dependendo da qualidade que é oferecido pela operadora no momento, né, a gente não tem domínio algum sobre isso. A legenda às vezes fica meio ruim de ler, né? Fica craquelada ou trava o vídeo, coisas do gênero. Mas a gente tem uma promessa, porque a gente está fazendo hoje ao vivo, é uma espécie de avant premiere. Isso tudo vai para o YouTube depois. Quando trava aqui, a gente edita, coloca de novo, faz editado bonitinho, com a grande querida Priscila, que faz esse trabalho maravilhoso para gente. E colocamos no YouTube, estão todos os episódios desde o primeiro lá. Até porque o Facebook, ele está apagando tudo agora. A nossa
é,
página ficou muito estranha. Tem umas coisas lá do passado meio
sumiram.
aleatório, assim. E o resto tudo quase subiu. Eles avisaram, né? Mas a gente tem cópia de tudo e está fazendo outras cópias também para tirar do YouTube também, extrair do YouTube para a gente ter esse material, porque muita coisa pode vir daí. Então a gente agradece muito a nossa sanguinha querida, nosso grupo de amigos que está com a gente desde o início, praticamente, que nos apoia, que nos acompanha, que ajuda a divulgar, que ajuda a trazer gente. Então, nosso muito obrigado, Sanguinha. Eu acho que recados estão dados todos, né?
Sim. Faltou falar uma coisa. Melhor que Netflix.
Tá esquecendo do bordão. Então tá,
Tá
gente.
bom, gente. Olha, entrevista linda.
Bom proveito.
Ele é um encanto, vocês vão ver. Ai, cara, uma simplicidade, uma coisa deliciosa, assim, de ouvir falar. A gente podia ficar 3 horas dando entrevista, que a gente ia só se deliciar. Rica, rica, rica. Vocês vão adorar. E aí a gente se encontra no finalzinho, né? Para dar um oi
Até
final,
já.
tá?
Até já.
E vamos ver aqui como é que vai ser a transmissão. Eu vou fazer tudo direito. Faz tempo que eu não faço. Mas vamos lá, gente. Ó, beijão, até já, divirtam-se. So, Joshua, how did Osho come into your life? And what happened next?
Oh, this is like two questions in one.
Yes.
And maybe just a little background to how it happened, because it was in let's say late 70s, like around 1976 or so. That's the first time I read about Osho. And at that time, I had strong plans to go to India. I was actually only 18 years old. But in those days in Europe, there was something called the hippie trail from Europe to India. Those were really wild times, and everything was very liberal, and we were young, and the whole world was ours somehow. And there was a certain openness after, we are the generation after the Second World War. Our parents have experienced a war, a terrible war, but we were the next generation, and we were ready to change everything. Absolutely. And so I had plans to go to India, and I actually did it. I traveled overland from Germany, where I was born and where I was living at that time. I was traveling overhand with auto-stop hitchhiking to India. So it was a long journey. It took about 3 weeks to a month, because I saw, I was going through countries like Greece and Turkey and Iran and Afghanistan, Pakistan, and eventually I came to India. And as I had heard about Osho, I was kind of interested in living in a spiritual commune, living together, experimenting, creating a different world. And I had heard about Auroville, and which is in South India, near Pondicherry. And I actually traveled there when I was in India. I went there, and but the commune there was quite small, and it didn't really click. And then I thought, okay, let me go. Maybe I have to go to Pune and see what's happening with Osho. So, I mean, I'm cutting a long story very short.
So you've heard before about the Bhagwan, yes?
Yes, I read about him just a little bit. I didn't read his books, but I heard about him, that there's this guy in India, and he's creating a spiritual commune, and he's combining meditation also with experimental therapy and with arts and all this. And this sounded very much like, wow, this is a very cool thing. So I did come to Pune, but at that time I was already broke. I had no money. I was traveling in India without money. But when you're 18, 19 years old, you can do many things that later on you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
So I went there, and I entered, and I saw the place, but the energy was so incredibly strong that I actually almost freaked out. This was too much for me. And I didn't see Osho at that time, so I just spent a day, and it was a bit too much. And I was in kind of a situation. I had no money, and it was better to go back to Europe. And so I went back overland to Europe. But this one day kind of never. that was the thing I had to experience just that one day, and it stayed in me, and so I had to go back. So I made money, and I went straight back to the ashram in Pune.
What year was this one day?
That was the first time in 77, and the next time in 78, autumn 78. And that's when the whole process started for me. And then I took sannyas in early 79. Of course, I saw Osho, I experienced Osho. In the beginning, I was never an easy believer. I was very doubtful. And I thought, I'm not going to take sannyas so easily. Something needs to happen. It's like, it's not like, hallelujah, here we go, and heaven on earth. No, it wasn't like this. I took quite some time, and I did a lot of meditations, and at that time Osho did 10-day meditation camps, and I did quite a few of them. And then eventually, with the experience of meditation, something happened, and I became a sannyas. I became his disciple.
How was it?
The initiation itself, I was a little afraid. I was a little, somehow everything was so new for me, and to be so close to him. So I was afraid. And I was the last one to take sannyas that evening. He let me wait. And then I sat in front of him, and then he said, just close your eyes and listen to the sounds. Just be completely relaxed. And it did happen. I was a little nervous, but then I just relaxed, and he touched my forehead, and he gave me my new name. And that's how I became Prem Joshua. And I still am. In the Western concept, having a master, because the Western world doesn't know about a guru, I would say. And the concept doesn't exist. Also, the concept that somebody can realize himself is not so known in the Western world. There were masters also in the Western world, but it's much more in the Indian world that there is something beyond the mind that you can develop into something that you become one with the whole. Doesn't exist in Christianity. There is always a priest in between, and there is a God in between, and a Jesus in between. And it's so important somehow that as a human being, this is such a vast concept that as a small human being, we have the possibility to discover something so vast. And somehow that changes everything. That changes the whole perspective of life. That there's something so vast, so huge within us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that we can discover this. I don't know how much I discovered of it, but we're in a process, I think, and the Osho has helped me tremendously on this path. And I think there is not only Osho, there are other masters, and there have always been other masters, and they can help us on this way, on this path.
Yes, so let's go back a bit to the 70s. So you were that wild community.
Yes.
Just did it scare it at the beginning?
It did scare me. Yes.
I had the same feeling.
Yeah, it did scare me because, you know, I was very young. Of course, there were a lot of young people, but, you know, this whole space of experimenting, of allowing so many things was also quite scary. And I was new, and but I was also curious. I wasn't only scared, I was also curious, and I also liked it. And I started doing therapy groups, different groups, and but then I started working in the community, and I would say that the working changed me more than the therapy. So I said, can I work in the actually somebody suggested me, why don't you work? Stop doing groups, start working. And I started working in the kitchen. And for months, I only chopped vegetables. And then I kind of upgraded in my career as a vegetable cutter. I became a so-called potwala, which meant there was a small room with a basin, and the cooks would bring me huge pots. And the pots were so big, then they were hot, that I had to clean them. I had to wear wooden sandals and go inside the pot and then scrape the pot with a spatula and brushes and lots of water. And so I was cleaning the pots. And then they went back in the kitchen and they were preparing other food. And so I was a potwala for, I think, 6 months.
Wow.
And I was just cleaning pots every day.
And
that was
cleaning your inner pots.
Maybe also my inner pots. But I was young, I was strong, I had too much energy. And that was, somehow that was an incredible experience for me. So I came back to Europe, and I was wearing orange and a mala, and everybody told me, are you crazy? What are you doing? And what did you do in India? I said, I was cleaning pots. I said, maybe I'm crazy, but that's what I did. And it was fun. And it was fun. It was great. It was great. Just doing this simple work. And this is something I want to tell about this community. It was, you know, it's like, it wasn't at an age where where usually young men in Europe would go to the army and do 1.5 years of army service. And, but I was cleaning pots and I was chopping vegetables. So that was my kind of, I think it's a very great process that in your life you do something for a smaller or a larger community or for a state. It doesn't need to be army. You don't have to become a soldier, but do some social service. Do something for people, you know, and that changes your whole perspective. I think there's too much egoism in the world. How much money I can make, you know, what is the state doing for me? The question is never, what can I do for my society? The question is, how much can I make? What is the government doing for me? And somehow in this process, even in Osho's community, I learned that what can I contribute? What can I give to others? I discovered my treasures, and how can I share my treasures with people? I used to be, before I came to Osho, and also in the process, I was a painter. I also played music, but through Osho, I became a musician. And I tried to improve as a musician, first of all, and also to contribute to the commune through playing music. And I'm still playing music. Now I'm old, but I'm still playing music, and I still share my music as much as I can, and I
Yes.
love it. I love it.
We do too. We also love it, your music. So, but we're gonna come to this point later on. We want to know about, after Pune, you went to the ranch, you stayed by yourself or in the big communes in Germany or wherever.
I was in the European commune in different places, and also that was an incredible process. Very beautiful. I loved it. And I went to the ranch. There were 4 festivals, and I went to all these 4 festivals. I think always they went on for 10 days or so. And I went there with the entire community I lived in. We all flew there. And so that's when I saw the ranch. But I must say, I never liked the ranch. I never liked it. I was I tried to like it, but it wasn't the States weren't my place. And the community there was something, it didn't really get me. And there were also power developments I felt within the people leading the commune, that I felt something strange was going on. I didn't like it so much. So I never felt this effort inside of me that, oh, I have to live there. And then when Osho went back to India, I was one of the first to be there again. What can I do? I love India. And I was happy that he was back. And in the beginning, he was there in Bombay. And I went to all his discourses in Bombay. And I stayed in Bombay. And then when he moved back to Pune, I went there 3 days before he arrived. And we were cleaning his room, and I was putting a mosquito net for him on the window, and it was like such an exciting thing. Oh, he's coming back. And it's funny, I haven't remembered these things for a long time, but now that you ask me, suddenly I remember it. Yeah.
Yes, it's so much, yeah, so much, so rich. We know that. We came later, but we also know that in some extent, yeah. The first time I saw Osho was this period in Bombay, 86, I think.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
then in Pune, 88. So when I came to Pune first time, it was very scary for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess less wild that was in the Pune one, yeah.
Yes, it was different. It was different, But one thing in this context, of the commune in India, we were wearing orange or maroon, we had a mala, and we looked like a sect. And maybe we were a sect, But I have to say one thing, we were happy. And that is the very important thing, that there was happiness, it was thrilling to be alive. We were dancing, we were making a beautiful place. It was about arts, aesthetics, and so many things. And we were thriving. And you know, who cares if that's called a sect? Happiness is important.
Osho said that music comes after silence. You also said that Osho taught you silence. Tell you about Osho's influence on your music.
I remember very well when he said, the deepest music is silence. And for me, that was like, wow. That is something so incredible, because until then, I thought music is notes and playing and having fun. But to say that silence is the deepest form of music, and out of silence comes music. It's almost like an embellishment to silence. That changed my whole perspective of music. And in the meditations I did, I got that feeling of silence. So I tried to bring that to my music as well. In short, yeah. There's nothing big and spiritual about it. It's just a process that yeah, I mean, we can talk about inspiration and being creative and all these things, which I think I have also learned from Osho, at least some understanding of it, that it's when somebody creates art or music or dance, or it is not that I create something, I'm wonderful artist or something like that. It's more about, how to say, things come to you. And it's more about being ready that music comes, or the dance comes, you start moving, or so sometimes with the music, it is like this. I sit somewhere and suddenly I hear a melody, or I play an instrument and some melody suddenly comes. And I don't know from where it's coming, but it comes. I receive it, and it's already there. That's the funny thing. It's already there. And I just have to open my antennas and catch it. And then I record it with my phone, what I play. And then, like this, a song slowly evolves. I go back, I listen to it, and I play it again. I find something else comes, and that's how slowly music develops. But what I want to say, it comes. It's a gift. I just need to be open. That's a bit the process of. It comes from silence. Yeah.
From empty pots.
From empty pots. Yes.
Okay.
And let me say one more thing about music and silence. Listen to the birds. Do you have nightingales in Brazil? I'm sure you must have nightingales. Yes, doesn't matter. It's a bird that sings the most beautiful melodies. And there are many birds that sing
Roxinol, yes, we
Eu ia
have.
dizer isso. Roxinol,
Yes.
Roxinol ou Oxinol.
Roxinol.
Roxinol, okay.
Roxinol.
Roxinol. Yeah. And it's like they sing such beautiful melodies. Where do these melodies come from? It's in existence. Music is in existence. Already, small bird can make such melodies. And with a virtuosity that only a good jazz player can have. You know, and these birds do it all day and all night. Yeah.
It's as
Divine
you
melody.
as you said, you will have to prepare the ground, yeah, and to be ready. And for that, maybe study a lot for hours. And also, how did the music come to your life? It was in the childhood. You said you were painting, then music, not so much, but more painting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my parents thought it was a good idea that I learned an instrument, that I have some contact with music. And my family wasn't rich, so they didn't buy a piano or another instrument. They bought me a small flute. And they found a teacher for me. There was a small group of children. I was, I think, 5 or 6 years old. And I started playing this flute, and I started learning songs, and I started to read music. And I had a very fantastic Italian flute teacher. And I was very impressed by him. And I was mainly impressed by him because he had a red Italian sports car. And as a kid, you like sports
Okay, you
cars.
like sports car? Yes.
And so I started with the flute, and I never stopped the flute. And still I play the flute. Yeah, amongst other instruments. But many kids learned an instrument when they're small, but then they drop it again. I never stopped.
Wow.
I never stopped. I continued playing music. I learned the guitar, I learned the saxophone. And then coming to India, I studied Indian music. I studied the sitar with Maestro Ustad Usman Khan in Pune. And yeah, but music continued. Yes.
How was it for you when Osho left his body?
I was in shock. And then there was a strange thing, because I really had a feeling that nothing has changed. The energy was the same, only his body wasn't there, his beautiful face wasn't there anymore. That was strange, but from a point of energy, it was almost more. That was something I couldn't really explain. And first it was like, oh, now everything will disperse, everybody will leave. But no, it just went on. And we just went on doing the things we were doing, chopping the vegetables, cleaning pots, or, you know, whatever else, practicing music with other musicians to prepare for the evening darshan, or, you know, whatever needed to be done. And in some strange way, it didn't really change. And still, I wonder how this could be like this. It wasn't like he was gone. It was not like that. He was still there, and because maybe it was even easier, because it made us aware that it was about a presence, not about a person. as much as we were all attached to seeing him and see him smile and catch his eyes and feel the namaste. I mean, in a way, one gets also attached to a guru. And that doesn't really help when you are attached to another person, because that guy is so great and so fantastic, and he tells so many fantastic things that correspond with whatever you feel inside, and only how masters can speak, you know. And when he's suddenly gone, it's almost like the target is towards yourself suddenly, much more. It's about the space, it's about the presence that he always tried to convey somehow. And that's how I felt. It was like, no, he's not gone. But I'm talking about the space. He was gone as a person, but the space was still there.
I personally like very much the music made and played around Osho and his communes in the Buddha field. Yes, for me, I call them enlightened music. How was it for you to be in the Buddha field and to get some enlightened music too?
Well, in Pune 1, in the early days, although I was playing music every day, I wasn't part of the group that played music for Osho. For me, that happened later. And it started, in the 80s when Osho came back. And how did it actually happen? Suddenly I was playing music for Osho. Somebody said, well, you want to play? I said, okay, I want to play, sure. And it was the most exciting thing to play for him, especially when he started dancing. And when he started doing this thing. But even when he just walked in silently, we played silent music, you know, quieter music. And it was just so wonderful to play. And sometimes, you know, developing as a musician is a process. I think now I play technically much better than I was playing so many years back. And I make an effort to play well, and without just concentrating on playing well, but still, you know, playing good music, play good music. And playing for Osho, we always try to play well, to play good. But sometimes now I feel like I wish we could have played much better. Sometimes it was also quite awful what came out. You know? But it was okay. It was okay. He didn't mind.
Yeah.
But some of the music was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it was always phenomenal. Sometimes
Yes,
it was
of
awful.
Course. Of course not.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I think about it, that he allowed us to be so playful and to be also awful.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We
Because that wasn't, you know, we weren't like a classical philharmonic orchestra, everybody perfect has done. No, it wasn't like that, you know. But I think we learned, we continued. And for me, it was always, you know, because I learned with an Indian master, Ustad Usman Khan. My effort was, I want to learn properly.
Okay.
I don't just want to experience music and be creative. I wanted to learn, you know, the ABC of Indian music, to understand where is it coming from, how is music connected with meditation. And Indian classical music is connected with spirituality and meditation. And it's such a deep, deep well, incredible. And although I'm not playing Indian classical music, somehow the well I'm drawing from, the raga music, is so old. One can say it's eternal. And every track that I write musically somehow is based on the principles of Indian raga to some extent. Of course, expressed in a modern way. Let me come back to Osho. At one point, he started to invite the best Indian classical musicians to the commune because he wanted us to get a taste of that music. So Zakir Hussain came many times, and Hari Prasad Chaurasia came many times, and others. There were so many. Shiv Kumar Sharma was there, and it was, wow, it was such a happening when they came. And that influenced me a lot, musically, I must say. And that's also because Osho had invited these musicians, these great people.
Wow. So rich to hear you about that. And I will speak in Portuguese, okay?
Yes,
Viro
please.
will translate.
Yes.
I will try.
O quanto o Osho trouxe a gente para a profundidade das coisas, inclusive na música, né? Sempre trazendo mais e mais fundo.
How much Osho has helped to deepen your experience in life, I think, in everything,
Yes.
including music.
Sempre mostrando que dá para ir mais fundo, né? Que trazendo.
Always showing that you can go deeper.
Yes. How to answer this? I think Osho was always triggering something which is already there. We just have to see it again. He was always pointing the target back inside, and how to say? Yeah, he just reminds us of a space. That's it. Which is already there. He's reminding, the masters remind us to put our vision not out there, how much money, what can I do, how famous, la 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 la, you know, but just go in and enjoy this beautiful day and be happy. And in that sense, he's here.
We also want to know about your band, Prem Joshua's band. It seems to be a mix of Western and Eastern music, yeah?
Mm.
What are your plans for near future? Let's say you have concerts, a tour or something. But first,
Yes,
band. Talk
the
about
band
the
is my family.
Mm.
This is something. This is such a great gift. The band is my family, and to have a band is just fantastic. To be part of a band, and I have been. The band has gone through many transformations, but there's two members that I have been playing together now, I would say for the last, I don't know, maybe 25 years or something, or maybe less, maybe more, I don't know. And other band members have changed, but it is, we play now, every year we do a tour in India for 4 months. So we meet, I have a management in India, and we meet for at least 4 months a year, and we give concerts all over India. And it works really well. It's beautiful. We love to play for Indian audiences. In a way, it seems like Indians understand better what we do than the Western world. And although it's a pretty balanced mix of Western influences and Indian influences, I would say. Yeah. And in the band, there is, in India, the band, there are 5 members. There's a Japanese bass player. There is an Indian lady who sings. There is a half German, half Indian percussionist. And a keyboard player who is Sudanese Egyptian,
Wow.
raised in London, living in India.
Wow.
And there's me, and this is a wild combination, and it works so well, and it's really incredible, and I feel really grateful. And we have good shows in India, and yeah, it's just fun. So every year in winter, when it's cold here in Europe, we're there. We're based in Goa, the whole band, and we tour. We fly from one city to another, and then we come back home to Goa. And then the next concert happens, we fly again. We also fly to the Middle East. Sometimes it's in different countries. Yeah. And in Europe, now I play as a trio or as a duo. Things have changed a bit. After COVID, lots of things have changed. Many clubs have closed and so on. And now I have a little project with my partner in life. She's a singer. She's a fantastic singer. And so we do a slightly different program. And sometimes, so I work as a duo with her or as a trio with my percussionist, who is also in India. And yeah, it's just also so much fun to just play in the smaller version. Equally fun in the smaller version than in the bigger version. Yeah. So this is what's happening. And now we just had a show as a duo, just her and me, and it's very satisfying. It's just so much fun to play for people here in Italy. Also, Italians are very, you know, they're very open and they immediately dance.
Like Brazil. Brazil is also like that.
Yeah. Yes. Do you also sing?
I also sing. I compose mainly with the sitar. And so I play, in concerts, I play the sitar, many flutes, soprano saxophone, and I sing. These 4 things I do in the concert. And on recordings, I play also other things, but these 4 things are work and practice enough. It needs a lot of, music needs a lot of practice. Yeah, many people think because one says to play music. Yes, it is a play, but it doesn't mean because it's called play, it's easy. Music is not easy. It's not easy at all. It needs a lot of practice. And somehow also, yeah, for me, it's the easiest form to meditate. Also, I have to say, it's a great tool. to be with yourself, and it's a great tool to share with the world. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Music and cleaning pots. That's great receipt.
It's the same thing. In the end, it's the same thing. It's the attitude, how you do things. If you clean a pot and you put your total energy into cleaning the pot, then it's fun. It's great. You finished afterwards. You're tired. You just go like boom. Sleep.
Great,
But
great.
yeah, I just remember this one thing, because now you said again, cleaning
Yes.
pots. Many times I had night shift in the ashram, and I was the only one left in the kitchen. And Osho used to do this thing called energy darshan. That was in the old Pune days. And so all the lights in the whole ashram were switched off to kind of concentrate the energy on his energy darshan. So I often had night shift. There was nobody else there, but only in his auditorium. There was a small group having so-called darshan, and in the evenings it was called energy darshan. And there was live music with it, very chaotic, very crazy live music. And I was the guy in the pots. So I was in that room, in my pot room, cleaning, and suddenly the lights went off. So I just stood inside my pot and I raised my arms. Kind of, went with the energy. And after 5 minutes, the lights came back on and I finished cleaning my pot.
Ah!
Wow, that's beautiful. Really.
And one last question. And how do you see Osho's legacy today?
It's great. What to say? In a way, what happened is I think it's a beautiful thing that happened, that we are not running around anymore. How to put it? Before in the commune, we were all wearing maroon, and now somehow the movement as such is like, I am a sannyasin and you recognize me as being Osho's disciple. Such things are not really valid anymore. It's more about we are free. And we radiate whatever we learned with him or still learning. Is more like how we share, how we live our lives. And that's important. How peaceful we are, how much joy we radiate. And it's not about being a missionary in any sense. It's about being joyful, about sharing freedom, space, meditation, however you want to call it. Just be yourself, and who likes it, and who doesn't. Yeah. And that's kind of the only thing I can say about Osho. And when I see short videos, we all have our phones now, and we go there and then whatever, suddenly there's a video clip of Osho, very short, can be on Facebook, and there's all these blah 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 on Facebook, and suddenly Osho appears, and it's just like, whoa, just, I don't know if maybe other people cannot feel it, but for me it's the same. And the thing he says is so spot on. And he might say only 3 words. And in between these 3 words, he leaves such a long gap. that he always said it's about the gap.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
yeah, for me, it's like he also said another beautiful thing. He says, wherever you taste the sea, it tastes salty. And whenever you hear a master, it tastes salty. So when I hear him now, or I hear another master, it's the same salt. They might express it in a different way. It's the same ocean, and it's wonderful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Osho.
Thank you so much.
Very nice to
Okay.
meet you. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Ciao, ciao.
Shiva Moon.
É muito emocionante, né, gente? Nossa, quanto ensinamento, quanta entrega nessas histórias, na experiência de vida. Como diz meu amigo do Sul, bah, né?
Que amigo você está falando? Gente, que delícia! A gente está rindo aqui, feliz da vida de estar de volta aqui. Coisa mais linda isso,
Coisa mais
né?
linda,
Coisa final ali.
espirituoso, mas uau!
Uau, uau, uau. Semana que vem temos mais.
Yes,
Aguardem.
Yes. Obrigada, meus amores. Que bom compartilhar isso com vocês.
Boa noite, Aminandidi. Boa
Boa
noite,
noite,
Sanguinha.
meu querido.
Até já.
Até já. Beijo. Terça que vem tem mais.